Hello, this is the One Episode Rule podcast about first impressions. I am Magpie. I have finished Golden Kamuy. There is
Yeah,
no more for me. Not until
let's go.
last part is produced. And the
Yeah.
last thing on screen for season 4 was final part greenlit. So
Yeah. Yeah. It's coming eventually.
so they'll finish it off. I didn't think they would stick with Botaro. I didn't think they would hang with him.
No, he's here.
He's with
He's
the gang for now.
for now. We'll see how that
Um,
goes. Anyhow.
But yeah, that's been my anime doing. So what have you been up to?
Yeah. Hi. My name's Joey. I've been in
Dreamland.
uh, Dreamland. I've been in Moving Hell. I'm not gonna discuss it. You know how moving is, and you know how moving can be worse than you even think. Anyhow, I watched anime this week. I saw the next I think I've seen through episode 5 now of Kowloon Generic Romance.
Oh, you got ahead of me.
I got ahead of you. I've seen a good chunk of it. Yeah, through episode 5, which is not quite halfway, but
Hmm.
approaching. And it's pretty good. We're getting intriguing. We're learning some things. We're having some real severe angst, and I'm
Hmm.
here for it. Let's go.
Shows that make you say, "Oh,
Oh, ouch.
oof, ouch."
Oof, ouch.
Do you want some
Literally.
news?
Yeah, let's have some
We don't have a
news.
lot of hard news for this, so this is gonna be your selection of puff pieces and opinion pieces,
All right, let's go.
co-authored by CBR and your friend Magpie. Which
Ah.
is hey, they're still making the One Piece.
Huh?
Netflix is still working with
Oh
Studio
yeah.
Wit on the remake. Um, the news is not necessarily good. It's the first news anybody has had of it since One Piece Day 2024, and they don't seem to have made a whole lot of progress. It seems to be going very slow. The most that they can say is that some of their depictions are a little more manga accurate than the original One Piece anime.
That's
Um,
something.
um, I continue to be baffled at why they are making this
Yeah. Do you
because
do you want to have like a break me off a piece and watch one of those one time?
well, I mean,
I mean,
like
listen, I know I'm breaking it in on the, directly live on the show, but
like if they actually make this, I'll look at it, but it looks like it's going to take years.
yeah.
um,
I didn't know if they had like actually released any episodes. That's
no,
why
they
I
haven't released
asked. Oh.
anything.
Oh. Well, that's dire.
Um, and with Netflix's like One Piece live action being a huge hit,
Yeah, why
and
don't they just pour more love into that?
the Toei show being still relevant and award winning.
Yeah, and people still watch it every single week. What the fuck is going on?
Like why? And it seems absurd to me because it seems like a wiser course if you wanted to do this would be just make a bunch of compilation movies. I think those would do gangbusters. I think you could just
Uh-huh.
be like, hey, here's the whole first arc, where they do Dawn Island and like punk the Marines a bunch,
Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
here's Arlong. Here's a movie about them fighting Arlong.
Uh-huh.
You
That's the
know,
thing. I feel like they've already done a bunch of movies too. I mean,
and
usually
then
their
just
movies
do
are
another.
completely,
Well, those are
unique.
completely outside of the.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
But
You're right though. That would probably be a better method, wouldn't it?
I mean, hell, the way I consumed Gundam 789 was through compilation movies.
Uh-huh.
Um, Now, granted, they didn't they didn't reproduce any of that. They just cut it together from the show. But let's see what else we got. Interesting Dragon Ball lore in that this was revealed by Kazuhiko Torishima, who was uh, the editor for Akira Toriyama for a lot of his work.
Mm-hmm.
He let slip in his new book that Toriyama made Dragon Ball because he was told that he would not be allowed to quit Dr. Slump until he made a more interesting manga.
Oh my.
They were holding him hostage at Shonen Jump. He's just like, please, I can't think up any more gags. I don't want to do it anymore.
Oh wow.
I'm going to burn out on this.
Seems like that happens with a lot of these ones.
Um,
Bleach?
and
Bleach anyone?
finally, a piece that sort of, I think, is illustrating sort of an attitude that may be spreading amongst animators and directors. Um, let's see. Japanese producer Mie Onishi was talking during an interview, and it came up with. He was also doing an interview with somebody with another anime person named Kawaguchi, but they came across the idea of like adapting things to anime, and
Mhm.
he sort of took off in a weird direction, which is Hollywood is starting to piss him off because they have become aware of anime in Hollywood.
Uh-oh.
And then the way they have
Uh-oh.
become aware of anime is that they have decided that it is cheaper, so they are asking, "Hey, make this, but make it anime," and that means
Yeah.
make it for cheap.
Yeah. That's not good.
Yeah, they're not pleased with it. Although Kawaguchi mentions that Hollywood creators also really like Mamoru Oshii and Makoto Shinkai. So there are a lot of them who want to try making a movie like those guys, which is not necessarily bad. um, all right, that's the news,
That's the
or
news.
what passes for it.
What have
Um,
you got for us
I
to
do
feast upon
you
this
remember when I
week?
made you choose between comedy and romance?
Oh, okay. All right, I got you.
It's time for comedy. It's time
Uh-oh.
for the Gorilla God's go-to girl.
Yeah, okay,
Yeah.
fantastic. Let's go. I vaguely know of this. Nice. Step aside, strongest primate high schooler Sukasa from Dr. Stone. Um, there's a new bitch in town.
Who's been blessed by the Gorilla God. I was gonna open up with it's just like, oh no, I've been blessed with physical perfection.
Oh,
Oh
nice.
no, it'll make me stand out at school.
You're just over here like, please don't bless me, Gorilla God.
I don't
Twirls hair.
I don't listen, I don't claim to be a cultural expert. I don't claim to be like above bias, but I think some of the Japanese cultural biases are a little tiresome. And one of them is oh God, standing out is the worst thing.
Yeah, no, I get you.
You have been given a gift.
I mean, okay, in somewhat to be fair, it is we'll say a non-conventional um trait to stand out for a girl who
It
is
is
16.
it is a great deal of responsibility.
Sure, with great gorillas come whatever.
um, but yeah, I
Let's
guess I'll read this blurb.
yeah, have the blurb.
Um, In a world where individuals receive blessings from various animal gods at the age of 16, Sophia Riller, a timid count's daughter, unexpectedly receives the blessing of the gorilla god, said to be the strongest in combat. Though she longs for a peaceful school life, her rare and powerful ability attracts the attention of the royal knights who scout her as an apprentice knight. Despite her efforts to hide her overwhelming strength, she can't help but stand out. Meanwhile, the promising young knights around her watch over her with kindness.
I didn't notice it until you read it aloud. Her last name is Riller?
Her last name is Riller.
Like
Like
Goriller?
Gorilla, yeah.
gonna, I'm gonna
Yes.
throw up. I'm gonna
Yeah.
die.
Take a moment to metastasize
Like,
that.
Okay, it's out of my system. I'm good.
Okay, so yeah, it opens very straightforwardly on this. We get introduced to the concept of basically being blessed by an animal god.
Mhm.
With some illustration. This is happening at school, which I think is very funny.
Yeah, yeah,
This feels like a religious thing. It doesn't feel like it should be
it
happening at
does.
school.
It's interesting because there's some aesthetics at play,
This
but
should be
like not
happening at
aesthetics
the
that you'd expect.
this should be happening at the coming of age ceremony from fucking Turn A Gundam.
Yeah,
where,
and they're
where
all
where they
dancing
light
around the statue.
the bonfires and shit. Um, but yeah, it's a big auditorium, and an older gentleman is issuing the blessings. And as Sophia Riller walks up to collect her, she muses on the thought. She's like, if I'm blessed by a bird god, I'll be able to grow wings and fly through the sky. Or if a fish god blesses me, I could swim in the sea and breathe underwater. Or and when she arrives there, she's just like, I don't know which one to pick. Like, I know there's the chameleon and the peacock, which would just immediately lead to like a life in fashion.
It's like I don't want to do that.
There's the tanuki or the fox, which would lead almost immediately to being scouted as an actor, and I don't think I can handle that.
There's
And
just
she's
a bunch
being
of cards swirling around.
she's being pressed forward by the weight of expectation to choose, and cannot really look at what she's chosen uh, until the moment. And when she turns her card over, she is greeted with the gorilla,
Gorilla. Ugh.
and she does not know what it means.
She's like, I literally never even
I did not
considered
consider this as a
this.
possibility. And
We will get told later that this is actually a very rare card to pick.
and yeah, after this, she's actually being grilled by a
She's
group of
being
the
grilled.
popular girls. She's being grilled by a group of the popular girls who want to know what animal picked her. Which, by the way, I feel like that should be like private.
I mean,
Unless it's like
yeah.
obvious, if you've been
I
chosen by the hawk god, people are gonna know.
they just find you sprout wings on the spot. I don't know. No, but
You start acting like Oliver Reed.
it seems like it must be somewhat private because it's not like they blurted it out for everyone to hear.
They didn't say it, and the headmaster later remarks upon how some people want to keep theirs private, which I
Yeah,
understand.
good for
Um,
them.
but they are distracted by and I've forgotten this man's name, so I'm going to say something dumb. But they are distracted by a popular young knight has apparently appeared at the school, appeared nearby the school, and they all want a good look at him. Sir Scrandal is here, and
Sir
so
Scrandal.
so, they stopped bullying her because they were just like, oh, you couldn't wouldn't be cut out for the peacock, and you definitely couldn't fly, you know. But yeah, they get distracted from her, and she's just like, oh, well, this is a great opportunity to eat my lunch.
Perfect, they're gone. I will
Uh,
sneak off in silence.
so she sneaks off into the courtyard to sit beneath a tree and eat her lunch. And immediately she opens her lunch and immediately explodes her apple.
She's too strong.
She's like, this has been happening since yesterday. I can't control my strength.
This particular scene had a very funny moment in which, um, in the compilation of, very brief moments of her just like, snapping her hairbrush, pulling a door off the handle, um,
God,
there was
God,
one moment she just pulled, no, it wasn't a
so
door off the handle. She
unrelatable.
pulled the handle off the door.
So unrelatable.
No, one of the cutaways was there was a bowl of fruit with bananas sitting on top, and I was like, she just
like,
looked
I
like
want that.
embarrassed thinking about the banana, and that was the funniest thing.
Was that did they not directly acknowledge it in the in the dub, because in the sub she's just like, I want that for some reason.
No, she didn't even. What in the dub? All she did was like look down shyly. It was very funny.
One of the rare moments of a dub acknowledging that the joke tells itself.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah. Oh no, what would it be like to pull a door off the hinges by accident? Oh no. Um, but
Ah,
embarrassing. That's what it is.
points,
She's right.
points, points at you.
Damage your home.
Anyhow,
But yeah, she's sitting there. She's just like, I don't know what I'm gonna do, because we cut back to she asked the headmaster about it after the ceremony, and she's like, about this card, and he's just like, oh, do you have questions? And he showed her. She showed him the card, and he went, oh, that's a rare one. And it's just like, what do you
wow,
mean
very
rare? It's just
cool.
like, well, the gorilla is a very rare blessing. It only appears like once every 50 years. It said that those who bear the blessing of the gorilla are the greatest combatants.
You will make a mighty warrior
You are
someday.
you will be the strongest. Um, and she's just like, oh, great.
Cool.
That's just what I need. And he's just like, oh, you've had good timing too. I want to talk to you after school. Uh, and when we cut back to the present, she's just like, what could he possibly want? What's more to talk about? I have this horrible gorilla strength. And and while she's sitting there, a huge squirrel comes down the tree, big green eyes, and he comes down the tree, and she's just like, "Oh, aren't you cute?" It's just like, "Hey, do you want something to eat?" And she pulls out like a whole fresh baked loaf,
Like an entire
like one
loaf.
of those disc loaves, and
Huge.
she's just like, do you want this? I'll just leave this here for you
She literally leaves an entire loaf of bread for the squirrel, which,
for
like,
this one squirrel. I'm just like, extravagance,
all right.
indulgence.
The squirrel's gonna live in that loaf.
This squirrel is gonna tell his squirrel friend shit that they ain't gonna believe. Um, but yeah, and she leaves. And our next scene is she does. The show doesn't drag ass, and I appreciate that. It felt very short to watch, but it was
That's what I thought.
normal
I was
length.
like, wow, is it already over?
Um, but yeah, she goes to speak to the headmaster in his office, and he's just like, yes, about your blessing. Well, I needed to tell you that you've been scouted by the Royal Knights. And she's just like, Nani? She's just like,
Huh?
well, you see, the gorilla god's combat prowess is possibly dangerous, so we have to inform the authorities when someone is blessed in this manner. And they have decided to scout you. Now you would just be taking an exam. You wouldn't be a knight yet, but then you would begin earning experience. It's just like, I
No, I don't
uh
wanna.
and she thinks on it, and she's just like, this is terrible. Like I can't possibly like refuse. I could go to jail maybe, and it would embarrass my family. So finally, she has this mental breakdown, just fully behind a stoic face, and she's just like, I guess I'll take the exam. Um,
She quickly comes to the conclusion, okay, this is easy. All I have to do is fail.
yeah, all she has to do is fail. If she
Easy.
fucks it up, they can't make her be a knight. They can't make her be a big deal, and she can live a peaceful life. Um, so all she
She's
has to
like,
do is fail.
at one point she says, I'll never fail if I don't try, which I thought was really
Mm.
funny.
So our next scene is the next day. She's in plain clothes, and she's trying to find the place. Um, and she comes across a man with a broken cart, and she's just like, oh, did you have an accident? What's wrong? And he's just like, oh, the wheel fell off my cart, and I don't have any tools to fix it, so I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to move this product without the cart. uh I'm not that strong, and I'm pretty old, so. And
She's like,
she's just like, oh, I could use this power to help him, but I don't want to draw any attention to myself. And then she turns around and she's like, if I don't use it now, might not ever be able to like
Yeah.
this power because
Yeah.
she has accepted that this is part of her life now,
This
and she has
is
to deal with it. So she might as
yeah.
well be happy that she has strength.
Uh-huh. Right.
She might as well get used to it and learn
Yep.
how to utilize it. So she turns around and she's just like, "I'll help you, sir." And she's just like, are you sure about that, young lady? I mean, it's quite a lot." Oh, because she's just picked up three huge barrels like
She's
Donkey
immediately
Kong.
got them stacked above her. She is
Just
Donkey
she
Konging
is
it.
Donkey Konging it. And then like our next scene is like later in the day, and she's sitting under a tree, and she's just like, "Well, I went all the way to the next town over, and now I don't know where I'm going." Like I got turned around. I don't know
You're
how
like,
to
oh
get there.
man, I'm even lost. I'm even
And
more lost than ever.
she gets approached by a young man, who she immediately decides is the most beautiful creature she's ever seen. Um,
Yeah, he looks like a standard anime
she
boy.
has it bad for him.
She's like, oh, his face is so beautiful.
Standard anime boy slash handsome green eyed.
Handsome variety, yes.
um, and he asks, is like, "You seem distressed." Just like, what's wrong? She's just like, "I'm lost.
She's like, I'm looking for the training grounds.
I'm
Dink,
looking for
dink, dink.
the Royal Knights training grounds." And he's just like, "Oh, I
Ah.
see. Well, if you go straight that way, you'll be able to see it in no time. You don't have to turn at all." And she's just like, "Oh, thank you so much." And he's just like, "Wait," and he takes his handkerchief and wipes away a smudge of dirt from her face. Like, "I'm sorry." She completely short circuits, and
Mhm.
she's like, I can't thank you enough." And he's just like, "Oh, it's nothing. Anyway, see you later." And as she walks off, she's just like, "Wait a second, see you later."
What do you mean, see you later? Huh? Eh?
Um, our next scene is she has arrived at the training grounds, and she's been given some gym clothes, I guess.
Mhm. That's what I'm
And
saying. The aesthetics are kind of interesting.
they're kind of all over the place.
They're a little all over the place.
I can't tell what time period this is supposed to take place in.
I know, because
Let's put it that way. We
some
have
of it's like
seen,
pretty modern looking. Like the the headmaster was in like a regular ass grad cap.
yeah, we've seen no electronics and no motorized vehicles of any kind, but very
Mhm.
modern clothing.
Yes,
Um,
it's strange.
um, but yeah, and yeah, she's the only girl there.
Yeah.
Apparently, huge male gender bias in the in the Royal Knight selection
Uh-oh.
process. Um, the hyena goddess has been lobbying against that for years. Um,
Good one.
but yeah, they're just like, "All right, we're going to commence your testing." And yeah, the proctors come in, the people who will be judging come in, and what do you know? He's amongst them, fully
Burn.
green-eyed,
Dun
uh,
dun dun.
in his Utana-esque royal uniform. Um,
Yeah, they just he finally put on some like fantasy ass clothing.
put on some fantasy-esque clothing. Um, so yeah, they set it up, and she's like, "Okay, calm down. You'll get your chance to fail now." And the first is a sprinting test. She's just like, it's very simple. You'll have we're going to time you in 100-yard sprint. Uh, and somebody speaks up, and he says, it's just like, "Hey, is it all right if I take this first? I'm very confident in my sprinting ability."
Mhm.
Um, and he's just like, "Who are you?" And I forget this guy's name.
I don't remember.
They all have
We need to
Western names. Let me
we
look.
I was gonna say we need to acknowledge that the handsome boy's name was Louis.
Yeah, it was Louis. He's Scarrow. He's the guy I called Scrandle earlier. They were talking about him.
Yeah, he's
This guy's name is
Scrandle.
Isaac. He's a blonde boy.
Yeah.
And yeah, they set him up, and he's got quite impressive legs. And whenever they wave the flag, he's across in 9.9 seconds, which I don't know what the fastest 100-yard sprint is, but that's pretty fucking quick.
I'm gonna go ahead and guess that he's blessed by the cheetah god.
He's the cheetah god,
And
maybe the
that's
gazelle god.
perhaps a gazelle. I could see that. I was gonna say
Fast, the
cheetah is like
jackrabbit god.
yeah, the obvious answer, right? Like
Hey, vamp for a second. I'm gonna look up fastest.
Yeah,
Fastest 100 yard
fast. I'm
dash.
sure it's slower than that.
Um, let's see.
Um,
That is in the top percentile.
yeah.
The one I'm seeing here is the fastest time was 9.07 seconds by
Wow.
Asafa Powell.
Okay.
So
Neat.
so that's fast.
It's
Um,
pretty fast. It's pretty
but
quick.
yeah, they start cycling through two at a time, and soon it comes up to be Sophia's turn. Uh, and she is still terrified, but she's just like, all right, now it's time. It's time to fail. And she sets up, and as soon as the flag is thrown, I love the ghostly gorilla that appears behind her.
I, constantly.
He's just constantly
He's with her.
appearing behind
He
her.
lives in me.
Uh, and as soon as she pushes off, because they're just like, oh, it's time to watch the girl run. What kind of stance even is that? Does she think this is a game? Uh, and as soon as she pushes off, she pushes a huge like clod of dirt out of the earth, and she just kicks off, and she goes smashing through the brick wall at the end of the course,
Oog.
and she's just like, um. I overshot the finish line by a lot.
Run too good.
And it's just like, it was that day that Sophie learned that gorillas could run 40 kilometers an
Yeah.
hour.
Gorilla fast, actually.
And just like, are we doing gorilla facts? And also, is that
Nice.
true?
I don't know. Mild edutainment moment?
Maybe. I like to know about gorillas. Um, she's just like, oh man, I don't know if I beefed it or not. Will they be impressed by that or angry that I destroyed the wall?
No one seems to comment in one
Um,
way or another.
so yeah, the next test is rappelling from the top of a tower.
Yep.
Whoever gets to the bottom the fastest, presumably without dying. Um,
Yeah.
they're judging their speed in rappelling, and everybody's just like, "Oh God, from up there, really?" It's just like you will go in the order of whoever's ready first,
Uh-huh.
which does become pertinent because they head up there and they're all completely out of breath from climbing the entire staircase. Which is it's funny. I would think that the gorilla god would have given you great stamina.
I
It's kind
would
of
think
something.
so too.
It's kind of something us great apes are known for. But
Yeah.
what if you were blessed by the human god? Hmm.
Whoa. That's some Tony Chopper shit.
um, but yeah, they're out of breath, and they're trying to decide. It's just like, oh god, who goes first? We're so high up, and while they're freaking out, a character named Eddie,
Eddie.
a real Sasuke, just says, "All right," and he just immediately saddles up and goes.
Mm-hmm.
Um, And he rappels about halfway down and just and says to himself, "All right, this should probably be far enough." And then just unties himself and falls the rest of the way.
He's
And just
got feather
lands.
falling.
He just lands very gracefully and softly.
What do we think he's blessed with?
I couldn't say. Flying squirrel, maybe? Cat?
Perhaps. Cat? Maybe.
He looks like a cat boy.
Cat
His
boy.
last name is Fellers.
Oh, yeah. No, he's a cat. He's a cat for sure.
Isaac's last name is Sheehan, so I'm not sure what.
Oh,
Hmm,
interesting.
not quite
Not
sure.
sure what that could be.
Um, but yeah, the rest of them are not making it quite so fast. Uh, even uh, Even Sophia is slightly distressed by the height, but she doesn't have it the worst because Isaac has it the worst. He is actively Blair Witching it in the corner.
he's,
He's just going,
he's
going, oh god, oh god, oh
trembling.
god, oh god, oh god.
I can't do this. I can't
I'm
do
not
this. I
good at
hate
heights at
heights.
all. And I guess her gorilla power of empathy activates because the gorilla appears behind her, and then she immediately goes to comfort.
Uh-huh.
She's just
It's like,
like,
oh.
listen, I could go first and catch you if anything happens. And he seems very surprised by this. And he's just like, I must be pathetic if a girl is worrying about me this much. And it gives him the strength to at least attempt it. Um, And yeah, they go over together, but about a third of the way down, they're just sort of frozen there, and he's just like, "I said all that, but this is really scary.
Like,
Actually,
oh, I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die.
I'm gonna die." And his rope gives up.
And then he almost dies.
He does almost die, but thanks to the protection of the gorilla god, safe protector of its community, Sophia is able to grab him out of the air
With one hand,
with
mind
one
you.
hand uh, and hold on. This is impressive on its own, but her rope gives up at that point. It yanks the pitten out of the
They're
top.
not meant to bear the weight of two
They're not,
people.
yeah, apparently not meant to bear the weight of two people at once. So yeah, they're both in free fall, and her instinct activates again, and she just bridle carries him in a fall to the ground and takes the impact with her strong legs.
Makes a whole crater in the
It makes a
ground.
crater. um,
She's fine. They're both
they're both
fine.
fine, and she puts him down. He's just like, I can't thank you enough. You saved my
Oh,
life.
that was so scary.
The guy calls them into attention. Lewis calls them into attention, and he says to them, "It's just all right. Tighten up. The examination isn't over. We're going to the third part, except for you, Sophia. You come with me." And she's just like,
He's like,
Nani?
oh
She's like,
man.
well, your hand seems to be quite injured from the weight it had to
Aw.
carry. And she's just like, oh, I see. So he takes her to the infirmary
You're gonna
to
have one
to
of
see to
these.
see to her hand. And he's just like, your cuts aren't as deep as I would have expected. And she's just like, oh, he's just like, you must have very strong arms.
She's
And
like,
he's
ah.
just like, that's not really
It's pretty
something I'm
funny.
proud of. Not really something I like. Um, and yeah, they have a moment there where he wraps up her hand, and then he places his hand in it. He sandwiches her hand
Uh-huh.
in a very tender gesture, and she's
It's
just
very cute.
looking into his eyes, and it's just like, Nani, and that's the end of the episode.
every
The
every
credits
time
start playing.
something every time something charming happens with this guy, he does get surrounded by the
The
standard,
roses
like
come out.
the roses, the
Even when they
rose frame.
mentioned him, I realized the roses appeared in that scene where he wasn't even on
Yeah,
screen.
right. It's
He's
pretty funny.
he's got Rosa Versailles syndrome.
Maybe that's the god that he was blessed with.
The flower god?
The flower. The flower god.
The flower god would be a strange suite of abilities, I
Maybe
would
okay,
think.
okay, maybe it's like a honeybee god.
I
That
think he
that
might
just
I think he might be blessed by the squirrel god.
Oh, maybe.
The
That's
squirrel
a
had
good
green
point. The
eyes.
squirrel did have green eyes.
He may
How
be some kind of
delightful.
shapeshifter
And perhaps. He's like, I remember when you blessed me with a huge loaf.
with a huge loaf. If you could shapeshift into a tiny mouse, would you just do it so that you could eat ridiculous hobbit dinners? You could eat
Oh
like
my
a wedge of
god.
cheese and it
You
would
could
be a
have like a little
magnificent
Redwall moment.
experience.
Like a little
Exactly.
Redwall feast.
You
Oh
could be
man.
feasting. A charcuterie board is a fucking unthinkable extravagance.
Well, if you went back to your normal side, would your stomach still be really full?
Who knows?
Or would you suddenly be hungry again?
Would you be hungry again? Who knows? Anyway, yeah, that is the end. The end credits are nothing particularly interesting to speak about, although there's a nice illustration of
Yeah,
Sophia having older with her hair tied back
yeah.
and her uniform, and I was just like, oh, she's gonna make
Cute.
it.
She's gonna make it.
So what
We
do you
already
think of
knew.
this overall?
This like it was it's fine. I don't think it's like a super what am I going to say? A super like standout show or anything, but it's like a very standard, very, it's got its charm. It's just kind of like to me it's pretty average
I
as
think it
far as
needed a little
anime
more
go.
intensity in the jokes.
Yeah, maybe a little more. There was nothing in here that really made me like out loud laughing out,
Howl with laughter, although
howling.
it was just sort of like a sensible chuckle kind of
The
show.
funniest joke in the whole episode was the banana thing.
Was the bananas. Uh, I think this show could be worth watching, but
I could
but
see
I do think
myself popping
I, th-
another episode of
I think
this,
Sophia needs more character quirks.
Yeah, maybe I mean, there's room for her to grow.
Maybe she needs the gorilla god to rub off on her more. So like if somebody surprises her in an episode and she just says "ooga,"
Ooga, ooga, ooga. Okay.
um,
So, do you plan to watch more of this, or is this
uh,
going on the back burner?
I will put this in the maybe drawer.
Yeah,
Um,
that's pretty much where I'm at.
I gotta find something new to watch. Watch while I'm drinking my coffee in the morning. Because it'll be
Fantastic.
a while until we get more Golden Kamuy.
Yeah.
So this gets a favorable recommendation for that pile.
Sure.
Um,
Yep. Put it
uh,
on if you need something that's not very intense or um
I don't think there's going to be a lot of action in this show. I
no.
think it's just going to be
This is gonna focus on the um like a bit
slightly
of
romantic,
comedy, a
slightly
little bit of
comedic,
yeah, that's where we're at. I think that's what's got this one's gonna be.
character-based comedy, perhaps.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
so yeah, if you like gorillas, you can tell us facts about them at oneepisodecast@gmail.com.
That is one the word, not the number. Come talk to us on Twitter and Blue Sky. We are at One Episode Cast, and we will, I don't know, tweet us a picture of a gorilla. I'll look at a
Just
gorilla.
hoot and holler at us
Just
like a
yeah,
great ape.
we will make appropriate response noises.
Um,
Oog,
so
ooga.
I have to ask, since we're ending the episode,
All right,
which
all right.
animal god's blessing would you covet?
Oh, I mean, just the ability to have wings is pretty cool.
That's pretty incredible.
I'll give you that.
Um,
I
I gave it a little bit of thought, and I have an answer. I think
All right, let's go.
I believe I would want the blessing of the gator god.
Whoa.
I would want the power to hang around in the water with just my eyes showing for hours on end.
You wanna bite someone and
Incredible
do
bite force.
you wanna do a death roll?
I'm death rolling on motherfucker.
Oh, yep, that's the one.
Ditto the leopard seal god.